Welcome everybody to this dotacommentaries.com presentation. I am LD. I'm joined here today by Siege. We are casting MiTH Trust versus MUFC for the Pro Dota
Dire
2
team
Worldwide League,
ban.
the Asian region. I haven't gotten a chance to watch MUFC too much recently. MiTH Trust has looked pretty solid when I've cast them. I did cast two of their games, and they ran a very aggressive ganky lineup, which of course if you've watched MiTH Trust before, you know they love to pick stun-heavy lineups, aggressive mobile lineups, and it worked out beautifully for them as they were able to take down. Who was that again? Was that Absolute Legends? I believe it was. It was a nice win for them. They did have some
10
trouble against
seconds
DK.
remaining.
Overall, they're looking decent. They're certainly not a top team yet, but they are starting to improve, starting to
Radiant
recover
team
form, and
ban.
hopefully we'll continue to see that growth as the days pass, as we get closer to the International 2. Now, I'm not saying they'll get an invite, but hey, you got to make a good showing now as Valve is throwing out the invites left and right. Teams are getting into the International. Anyway, with all that being said, Siege, thank you for joining me. Welcome to the cast.
Hey, it's my pleasure, as always.
Dire
So, on the
team
dire
ban.
side, we have MUFC. On Radiant, we'll have MiTH Trust. And MiTH Trust have removed out both Chen and Fuya. Very good choices, in my opinion. Takes out that early jungle that MUFC would love.
Well, I don't know if you were with me, but the last time that we cast or the last time that I cast a Chen and a Furion both, or a Prophet both making it onto the same team, the game was over in about 5 minutes. So
Radiant team
you definitely don't
ban.
want to give both of those away. And I'm, not unhappy to see these heroes banned. Of course, they're pretty aggressive early on, but hey, they are. We've all seen Chen and Prophet before. With that being said, Earthshaker actually gets the ban. Now, you might think this is a little odd, but he has been really trending upwards as a support in Dota 2. He's also really popular in Southeast Asia. I've even seen teams in Dota 1 first pick the Earthshaker. That's right, first pick
10
overall in the
seconds
entire draft,
remaining.
Earthshaker. The one thing he gives you is really long initiation range for a support, which if you want to be aggressive in the
Dire
early game
team
is one of the
ban.
best ways to do it. You can start off with a fissure, follow it up with some other stuns or slows, and look for early kills. So while he's thought of traditionally as a very defensive support hero, he has that long range offensive capability. In any case, he gets the ban here. Enchantress getting banned out as well, another strong pushing hero. So, four pushers, one team fighter. Of course, there is a little bit of overlap with the Prophet and the Chen, but for the most part, it looks like
10
pushing is what
seconds
these
remaining.
teams don't want to deal with, as well as jungling.
5
A good
seconds
ban because
remaining.
MUFC are looking to pick up either Invoker or Silly Bear, I think.
Reserve time.
I was just about to say Darkseer is still in the pool, but no,
Radiant
he
team
does get
pick.
the axe there with the final ban. First pick headed MiTH Trust's way. Who will be the choice is the question here. I can't remember who they've been first picking. I would not be surprised to see an Invoker. I would not be surprised to see maybe a Queen of Pain. We'll have to see though. They are taking their time here. Normally, when you see the initial banning stage, as soon as it ends, the team knows what they want to pick up. In terms of who's left in the
10
pool,
seconds
let me
remaining.
actually bring up my hero list as I am still waking up, and not all
5
of the heroes are
seconds
immediately
remaining.
being summoned to my attention. Panda
Oh,
is
wait,
in the pool. That's the guy I was thinking about. So,
Reserve
is
time.
hey,
Phantom Lancer in the pool too?
he is, but hey, Phantom Lancer has not been the most popular or successful hero. He is released though into competitive play. If the teams want to go that route, I would expect to see an Invoker or a Panda here. Those are probably the two strongest heroes in the pool, or at least the two most popular ones. Syllabear, you mentioned him as well.
And it is Panda.
It is going to be a Panda first pick.
Dire
I
team
love
pick.
watching Panda. If you don't like watching Panda, then not only do you hate animals, but you hate exciting Dota. Brewmaster first pick gives you team fight, gives you gank, gives you decent laning. He's a pretty good hero killer, even on his own, and especially if you pair him with a strong support. So at MiTH Trust, not tipping their hand, but taking one of the best heroes out of the pool immediately.
Windrunner at your service.
And we're gonna see that conventional pickup,
Dire
Windrunner,
team pick.
that ultimate toolbox hero, and the Queen of Pain.
Radiant
Interesting.
team pick.
Now, these heroes are quite squishy, and Panda is one of the better heroes for really locking down chasers because if you get up a blink dagger, you can blink and clap. Sure, Queen of Pain can blink away, but she'll be running really slowly. You toss the Drunken Haze on her as well, and that's only if you don't pop the ultimate form. If you pop that, you've got the Boulder Toss, you've got the Cyclone, both to disable them and surround them. So Panda is actually pretty good against these heroes that are squishy and rely on their
10
mobility.
seconds
Of course,
remaining.
that being said, that does give MUFC very strong laning and sort of burst
5
damage in the mid
seconds
game.
remaining.
It does give them a lot of flexibility in terms of their lanes as well. So we'll have to see how it develops from here. But for now,
Reserve time.
it's a little bit dangerous picking into these kinds of heroes versus a Panda. Heroes that are squishy, heroes that are not going to want to stand and fight, and heroes that rely on mobility because Panda is one of the best disablers in the game.
As it stands, they still haven't given away much information about how they want to lane this or how they actually want to play the overall strategy. I'm wondering why Invoker isn't being picked up. I'm not sure. I don't think he fits into to either of these lineups now, though.
Well, there's so many aggressive early game heroes being picked
Dire
up.
team
Invoker is a hero that likes to farm and get a lot of levels. And in a game like this, will he be able to find that? I'm not too sure. Shadow Demon, the second pick. I want to talk about the combination of Shadow Demon and Panda. It's really nice. What you can do is start with the disruption. Panda walks up, drops the thunderclap. This is not only in the laning phase, but also if Shadow Demon wants to gank. So they're a very strong dual lane. They don't have to lane together. We've seen Panda go solo mid. I cast a game with Luminous yesterday where he went solo mid against a Mirana and just absolutely destroyed the Mirana. Now, Lumi made the argument that Panda should win that lane, but you certainly shouldn't win it as hard as this Panda did. So they could dual lane him, they could put him in a solo position. Antimage is the pickup, so hey, MiTH Trust wants to go for late game. The question for MUFC is how will they respond? Are they going to go all in on the ganking, on the aggression, on the stuns? Are they going to get some late game insurance of their own now? In terms of heroes that counter the anti-mage, counter the Panda, I gotta throw this out there. Riki is available. I know he's not the most popular hero in Southeast Asia, or really in Asia in general, but he's also really good against the Panda. Sorry, go ahead.
Just wanted to mention, Riki has this incredibly annoying bug. Every time you blink strike, he gets silenced for about 1 second. I would not expect him to be picked up because it really disrupts your combination. You can't blink in and then immediately drop the silence.
Is this a recent bug? Because I have not experienced that before.
I believe it's a recent bug since the latest patch.
Well, we'll have to see. Another hero that can counter that anti-mage pretty hard gets banned here. That is Obsidian Destroyer. Now, the other nice thing about Obsidian Destroyer is he's really strong in the laning phase. Not only in general, and he's one of the best 1v1 laning heroes, but especially against Panda. What you can do is keep on Astral imprisoning Panda, and Panda's not even going to have mana for Clap after about 2 or 3 of those. Once you hit level 3, level 5, Panda will never have mana to do anything. Of course, when you're picking the anti-mage, this is why I'm talking about Panda going mid, because anti-mage is probably going to want the safe lane. He could dual lane mid, but most likely he's going to want to be out of harm's way. Panda will want to be where the action is. Puck gets the ban. Interesting ban. The silence would be pretty annoying to deal with. Also, the Dream Coil will allow Panda and anti-mage to chase you around quite a bit. So it makes sense.
I guess they want to... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you don't want to give MiTH Trust too much team fight.
Yeah, plus that Buck is commonly run as an off-lane hero. So I guess they want to remove any options. Maybe they'll ban out Mirana from MiTH Trust.
Yeah, if they want. Well, in terms of who would be left, I suppose... Now, I know he's not very popular right now in Dota 2, but Batrider would still be there if MiTH Trust wants to go for it. I personally would be excited to see that.
That would be an incredibly aggressive lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Batrider, he's probably going to be laning against either the Windrunner or the Queen of Pain if he's up top. That would be my guess, at least based on the current selection of heroes. That could change depending on what they pick. But Bat has a good time against both of those, and that would be a rare situation where he could get some decent farm. Because you've already picked up an anti-mage and a Panda, you do need a very strong solo hero, as those two will require some support early on, especially, like I mentioned, the anti-mage. They don't really have much in the way of support yet. This last ban is taking quite a while. Slardar gets the ban, a smart choice. That chain stun, very frustrating to deal with between Shackle Shot, Magic Missile, Swap, as well as Slither and Crush. A lot of ways to lock down the anti-mage and the Panda, and if Panda cannot get his ult off, that is huge. So normally the best way to deal with him is silences, but stuns can work too.
Also, the minus armor combination from Vengeful plus Slaughter really will whip through both Panda and anti-mage.
Yeah, it's a great point.
There's still Venomancer and CM in the pool, and I don't agree with this Rasta ban. I feel that Venomancer or CM would have been more deserving. They have both of these heroes are incredibly strong at level 1. And as MiTH always love to go on the aggressive early on, those would be perfect pickups, both to support and to go aggro.
Well, that is their normal playstyle, but look at who they've picked up. I mean, Panda is reasonable as an aggressive hero, but he really wants to wait until he gets like level 3, level 5. Ideally level 6 or 7 before he's truly aggressive. And of course, anti-mage, he can go for kills early, but normally he wants to farm. Personally, I like the Shadow Shaman ban because one of the most annoying things to deal with if you're Queen of Pain or a hero that relies on mobility is to get blinked in and immediately hexed. You follow that up with some of the other disables, and you can go down without ever getting to fire a shot. So I think it's a decent ban, but you're right, they need another support, and Shadow Shaman not the best early aggression hero. Myth Trust, another fairly farm-intensive hero, at least for a support. They go for the Sand King. Now, you can dual roam the Shadow Demon and the Sand King. Their lanes are not going to be very strong now. You've got 3 melee heroes. You've got heroes that are not great at lane controlling.
10
So
seconds
you talked about
remaining.
aggression, and I think if Myth Trust wants to get a foothold in the early game, we're going to have to see some
5 seconds
movement around the
remaining.
map a little bit earlier than you might otherwise expect for these heroes.
Yeah, that's a good
Reserve
point.
time.
But Sand King really does want to hit level 6 so he can get his ult up. Against these squishy heroes, he'll love to have that early on. Maybe we'll see an attempt at being passive and defensive. Just farm up, get your levels until you hit 6, and then start the big team fights.
Well, of course, you have a panty of a Sand King. Team fights are always going to be, well, if not in your favor, then certainly there's potential for that. Where do you go from here if you're MUFC, though? They still haven't tipped their hands. I mean, they could go for a carry. There are a lot of options in the pool. Morphlane,
Maybe a Beastmaster? Beastmaster plus a hard carry or something? I'd love to see that aura stack.
Yeah, not only the aura stack. Actually, a Beastmaster Drow would fit in great here because
Radiant
the
team
silence is
pick.
so huge against Antimage and Panda. It's actually going to be a Lich. You said squishy lineup. They're not really doing too much to fix that, I gotta say. Now, the Frost Armor, we have to mention this, will be really nice against Antimage and Panda. A very good skill to sort of limit or slow down their mid-game damage. But Lich is not going to help you lock down these heroes in a team fight. You're up against a Shadow Demon with Disruption, Antimage with Blink,
10 seconds
and the
remaining.
Sandstorm from Sandkid. A lot of ways to dodge that Chain Frost.
5
So I'm not
seconds
sure what this Lich
remaining.
pick is about, except wanting to win your lanes very early on. I think MUFC is putting a lot of eggs in the
Reserve
basket
time.
of that early game.
I think that they're going to send the Lich with the... Hang on 1 minute.
Yep, sorry about that, guys. Siege is actually, he lives at an airport. There's a landing strip right outside his room. So he's just got to
10
tell the pilot to
seconds
turn off the
remaining.
engines real quick. The mothership has arrived. Indeed,
5
indeed.
seconds remaining.
Omniknight gets picked as well. Oh, man.
Dire team
The last time I cast an Omniknight, it was with Siege, and it was a Duskbin solo mid Omniknight who was doing work versus an anti-mage. That would be Ninja Boogie. That was an impressive display of skill. Now, I'm not sure that
Oh.
Omniknight will have a good time in the laning phase. They have 4 melee heroes.
This does not look good because all of these heroes require farm and levels.
Yep, I mean,
But
Shadow Demon is the only one who can get away with being underleveled. But even him for support,
10
you want to get
seconds
Soul Catcher
remaining.
maxed. Ideally, you want to get Disruption maxed. It's going to be tough.
and
for
you
him.
also want to hit
5
6 too.
seconds remaining.
Otherwise you won't be able to gank as effectively.
Well, with this
Reserve time.
addition of another farming oriented hero, what do you go with if you're MUFC? The thing for them is they don't have much push. Normally
I think they've already locked themselves into sort of a carry oriented build with the Lich pickup.
well, they could go for a Faceless Void, maybe a Morphlane, but Morphlane probably would not be the best choice versus an Anti-Mage. As in the mid game, Morphlane is very reliant on his mana pool. He's usually sitting around at low mana. That being said, Morphlane he's another pretty strong laning here as far as carries go. If they want to go that route, I mean, I
10
don't think he would
seconds
slow down their
remaining.
laning phase too much.
I think that they should pick up Mirana.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, it would
He
give
would
you
fit in
another
actually
shot.
well here.
Oh my god,
and there's your
MUFC!
push.
Going all in here. Oh, my microphone just slipped. Going all in here on the early game aggression, man. Now, we got to talk about Pugna a little bit. He's going to be really strong against a lot of these casters, and they actually do have a decent number of casters. Shadow Demon, Sand King, Omni Knight, very mana dependent heroes, very spell reliant heroes. Now, Panda, not quite as reliant, but he's got a very low mana pool. If he gets zapped by the ward, he's not going to be able to blink. He may not have mana for his ult as well. So Pugna here, I mean, it could work. But if they don't have a great start, there's almost no late game insurance. I mean, you've got Queen of Pain, Queen of Pain, you've got Windrunner. They're okay in the late game, but you're not out carrying Anti-Mage or Panda without a huge head start.
Yeah, they need to win this by the mid game, and that's actually one of the better things to. That's one of the better strategies against an anti-mage. Start
is.
pushing, take down his towers. Don't give him the space to farm.
It is.
Go for
and-
that 30 minute GG.
sorry to keep on interrupting you, but you do mention the push, and hey, that's one other thing Pugna gives you, is that early push. Let's introduce the players really quickly. So for MUFC, we're going to have Sharky on that support lich. Already picked up a Smoke of the Seat. There, it looks like he wants to be aggressive, which I think we both can agree is a fantastic choice. Net on that Vengeful Spirit. It will be a support Vengeful Spirit. She will not be farming. She's already got wards picked up. TFG on that Windrunner. Looks like she will be farming. Lane on that Pugna. He's not going to be rushing a bottle. And Nick, not rushing a bottle either. Nobody rushing a bottle in MUFC. He'll be playing that Queen of Pain.
And for MiTH Trust, we see a 4-man roam top, probably gonna place down a ward to block off the pool. Sand King, which is R5, has already picked up smoke and sentries. Maybe trying to counter ward bot or the rune. Lakels will be on the carry, anti-mage. He's picked up a poor man shield, might be expecting a lot of harass, which is a good idea considering the dire side is all ranged. And mid we'll see, is this a stand-in or? Anyway, AABB.
No, he's not.
AA. It will be mid solo panda.
This is the guy who always twists my tongue into knots. That's Abba. I wish he would change his name for my sakes. I think you. Also, I want to mention R5. Well, you introduced the Sand King, but finally Lino on that omniknight. It looks like he'll be farming or maybe roaming. He's already got 3 clarities. That's a lot for an omniknight who normally likes to rush something like a soul raid or maybe arcane boots. The lanes
I don't
are
think
all
he'll be
over
getting
the
any
place.
farm at all. I don't think he'll be getting any farm at all in his lane.
They do have a lot of farming heroes, but you know, Sandcade appears to be on support. This is a pretty interesting tri-lane. Ooh, I like what MiTH Trust is doing. This tri-lane is going to be very strong. You have Shadow Demon, Sand King, and Omniknight. You can start with Disruption, follow up with Burrow Strike, then you can drop a Purification onto the Sand King. It's a devastating 1-2-3 punch. R5, Burrow Strike in to start on Net. Net is going to be auto-attacked a few times. Purification to follow. Disruption will be following momentarily. Nice patience there on the Disruption. Looks like this is going to be a first blood, unless Windrunner has something to say about it. Net trying his best to get away. He will not be able to. R5 is going to go down as well. 1 for 1, but the trade is definitely going to favor MiTH Trust. They will be happy about it, especially considering the situation with their heroes being very farm dependent. TNK is most likely going to go down. Nice wand pop, or not wand pop. I guess that was just a heal.
Heal coming off from Omniknight.
Yeah, Purification. Not enough in the end.
Yep, that's only 160 HP heal. Oh, 90 actually. There's actually a solo anti-mage going up against Pugna top, and that's... I don't think anti-mage is gonna come off the best there.
Well, it all comes down to positioning. Pugna cannot let the anti-mage get too close to him. Now, he does have pretty decent base move speed, but you gotta keep in mind, anti-mage was pooled a set of tangos, as well as a healing salve, so he's got a little bit of a gold advantage here in the lane. Will that be enough? We'll have to see. Towards the bottom, I'm taking a look here at the wards. A nice defensive ward being placed by this tri-lane. They will see if any roaming is happening. Now, I mean, tri-lane versus tri-lane, pretty much everyone who's going to be ganking is already in the bottom lane. Net does drop a ward to try and deny any pulling or stacking. He's getting caught again, tries to tango out, drops 2 tangos, gets disrupted. He's going to die again. Should not have been warding by himself. Hero block, not going to be enough. Actually, he's going to get away. Burst strike in, again, Purification to follow. Well, MUFC, they picked an aggressive lineup, and now they're already down. Well, tied up 2-2, so it's not looking too promising for them.
I'm not sure about this ward though. It's gonna get countered very easily, especially since Sand King was there. I think he saw Vengeful drop the wards.
I think so.
I don't know who is actually getting the farm on this tri-lane. Is it Shadow Demon or Omniknight?
I think it's the Omniknight. Shadow Demon, I believe he's on support. Lino has 450 gold, TMK 250. It's hard to say. I mean, obviously Omniknight is melee. He's up against a triple range tri-lane. As I say that, it's no longer tri-lane. Net is tired of how things are going on the bottom lane. He's rotating up top. Well, top lane appears to be going Lane's way. He's doing a lot of nice right-click damage here to Lakels. That stout shield, or that 4-man shield is helping, but it's just not enough by itself. Pugna has actually a very nice attack animation. Very good base damage early on, and the highest int gain in the game, 4 int gain per level. That's 4 damage gain per level. So this is a tough lane for the ITH, especially if Vengeful Spirit stays here. It looks like she might be doing some pulling, but for now the KF is warded off, so she's going to have to de-ward that if she wants to.
The thing I want to point out is Pugna already has his bottle, whereas Antimage is about 4 creeps away from his ring. And if he tries to go for those 4 creeps, he's going to take a lot of damage from the blast and the harass from Pugna. I'm not sure that he's going to get any farm done in the next 2 minutes, as he hits 5 or 6 and puts another couple of points into the spell shield.
Oh, initiation on the middle lane, Shadow Strike, as well as that Scream. Looks like Abba will go down. No, he bottles up in between the Shadow Strike damage procs there. Nicely done by Abba. He's going to live. He's going to be forced back to base. Speaking of that middle lane, let's take a quick look at the farm. 13-2 on Abba. Nick up to 21-4. MUFC is farming really well, despite the kills not being the best. Lane is up to 16-4 and 21-4 on Nick, as I just mentioned. 16-15 on that windrunner. Good farm all around for MUFC. This is what they need, along with hopefully no more deaths. Lakel's desperately wants that Rain of Health. He's trying to get a couple more creeps. I think he knows Net might be here. No, actually, he doesn't for the looks of it. Magic Missile to initiate. Will it be enough? I don't think so. Lakel's blinks away, but he's taking a lot of harassment.
Top tower will go down if... never mind. TP support is coming in instantly. They're smoked up as well, in case there was a ward at the towers. They're not going to be able to take this tower, but they will do some damage to it.
Oh, they might actually die here. Disruption to initiate. I think Pugna's going to go down. As well as that Shadow Demon damage buff doing a lot of work there. One kill going the way of antimage. That's a kill you cannot afford to give away. So the rotation paying off there. I mean, the map where, you know, the two heroes missing off the map, you got to play really defensively. Unfortunately, they did not. And with all these squishy heroes on MUFC, it's very easy for anyone to go down.
Yeah, I don't think they actually saw the two heroes TPing out. And omniknight is not having a fun game at all.
Illusion.
I mean, if you're MiTH Trust, someone is going to suffer. So the question is, who do you want it to be? I mean, Panda's doing okay on the middle lane. Crucially, he's almost level 6, but Nick is definitely winning that lane. Top, anti-mage, hey, he's got the Rain of Health, he's got the Poor Man's Shield. He's okay for now. As I see, the Shadow Demon gave him even more tangos, but it's still going to be an uphill climb, and you mentioned the omniknight. He's not having too much fun either. All 3 clarity's gone. I believe he had a set of tangos. That's gone as well. Up top, anti-mage eats another blast. Lane, not another blast, as well as another blast. Abba has picked up the ult in the middle lane. He's clapping creeps. I like this. He's trying to push the lane back out. He's also getting some help from Lino. Has gone down to check the bottom rune. He picks up an invis. He's only level 3. Let's take a general look at the levels here. It's pretty early on, but a big XP lead going the way of the Dire. And this early on, 1000 XP is a lot. You can see that reflected in the levels. Only 3 on the Shadow Demon, 3 on the Sand King, 3 on the Omniknight. Compare that to MUFC. They've got the level 2 Venge, but they've also got 2 heroes at level 6 and 1 at level 5.
That kill on top lane did give them some... Oh, looks like... Nah, just some harassment going on mid. That kill on top did give them some advantage, but they need to pull off more kills like that. Looks like they're hoping to pull off something like that at bot. The initiation going on Lich or Windrunner.
Well, you got to keep in mind, this is a level 2 Sand Cane, so the Burrow Strike range is not long. Now, TNK can set it up with the Disruption. You can see here the range of that is a lot longer, but the Invis rune wears off, so that's probably going to put an end to any ambitions of ganking this lane. TFG has picked up Phase Boots. He's also got the Rune of Basilius, so he's going to be fairly difficult to lock down. And of course, he's with a Lich who's got a level 3 nuke. The denies are even more hurting MiTH Trust. I mean, already they're not having the best time. Lakel's going on the offensive top, just getting one right click, and he's immediately forced to blink away, taking a lot of damage. He actually went for a mana break max. Normally, if Antimage is having a hard lane, we'll either see him... Well, yesterday I saw him go for stats. That was the burning build, but that was a free farm build. Generally, you'll see him either max up that spell shield or possibly the blink. I think in this case, the mana shield would be the way to go. But he's going on the aggressive. Tower is getting worked down a lot by lane. He's already level 7. That blast is going to hurt. The tower continues to take respite.
Radiant's
Going to be a tier 1 tower if anyone does not come in the spot. And it seems that MiTH is content to give it up.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, sure, it's a tower.
And that's a rather weird fortification. It was not taking any damage, and neither was mid, so kind of a waste.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of lag there. Probably not the best use of the clip. Now, the tower going down, this is first of all not the earliest tower, especially for a Pugna versus an Anti-Mage. I mean, some of the tower would be down by now. Even if it does go down, it's going to leave this lane pretty much empty for Anti-Mage to free farm. Panda coming in from the rear, clap on the bench, drops the ward, or drops the illusions, and down the Vengeful Spirit goes. Nice rotation from the Panda. Well, there goes the push. For now, Anti-Mage will live to fight another day at the tier 1, but even if the tower dies, it's only going to make it easier for him to farm, as the lane will be pushed much farther onto his side of the river, and it will be a lot more dangerous for all the squishy heroes on MUFC side to try and push the lane.
The thing about taking the early tier 1 towers is that it gives Pugna the ability to snowball pretty easily. he can go for that fast mechanism and start pushing incredibly hard, which is what I'd actually hope to see him do.
Well, who goes for the
did that
mechanism? That's the
hurt?
question right now. He's got Arcane Boots. Windrunner is up to 1,300 gold. If she wants a mechanism, she could have it quite soon. I mean, the clock is already starting to tick for MUFC because Panda's hit level 7. And he's often enough to get you through the stage of the game. Magic Missile as well as Blast up top. The kills will blink out. But still, where's the farm coming from? He's got 800 gold. Let's take a look at farm. 26 on Lakel's, 30 on Abba. If we take a look at the Dire, 47 on TFG, 49 on Nick, 51 on Ling. So they are all having a fantastic time. All three farmers averaging over 5 creeps per minute or right around that mark, which is fantastic, and especially to have 3 heroes doing it. If you go for an early game lineup, this is really about the best you can hope for in terms of the farm.
Ooh.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I think that this sacrifice of farm is really gonna come back to bite MiTH Trust. Both TNK, R5 and Linu have got absolutely nothing.
Well, this is what, you know, when you pick a greedy lineup, and this is a greedy lineup, let's not lie about that. Even the supports need a lot of levels and a lot of farm. It can put you in a bad situation. Abba maybe in a little bit of trouble here on the mid lane. He has a DD as well as his ult if he needs it. You can see that clap nice against blinking heroes. It's only a level 2 blink, but in the end he will be okay. What's Abba got on the courier is the question. Nope, just some wards here at the moment. With that top tower going down, antimage will be free to farm top for the moment, and that's going to give Lakel some much needed farm. I don't think this is a game to build a Battle Fury. I gotta say that right now. I know a lot of players have been really favoring the Battle Fury lately, but a Burrow Strike in on Nick in the middle lane, clap as well. Magic Missile going back the other way on the Panda, but he'll be okay. Just a lot of harassment coming out.
Okay, we were talking about those squishy heroes, and that's exactly it. He took what, 2 claps and he lost 400 HP.
Yeah, one more Burrow Strike and he is dead. I mean, your Vengeful Spirit only level 4, not gonna have the swap to get him away. Question for me is, what is MUFC building? Oh, completed Force Staff up on the Windrunner. Another great choice. I thought Mechanism might be the way to go because you were talking about that, and I agree that would be nice for pushing. But hey, Force Staff can allow you to be more aggressive and also to run away from that Panda. If he pops the Panda ult, you can Force Staff your teammates out, even if they're stunned, and help them stay alive. Disruption on the bottom lane. Lich, looks like Lich is in trouble here. Eats the powers. Oh, Windrunner in the back lines picks off the Shadow Demon. In fact, it looks like Lich went down, so a 1-for-1 trade. Lich was pretty high leveled, so I think overall MiTH Trust will be okay with that. Any trades are good if you've got the late game lineup, as long as your carries are not dying.
Yeah, the trading that Lich for Shadow Demon was definitely benefited MiTH better. We were talking about that mechanism, and it seems that Pugna is going for it right now. He's about 300 gold away from it.
Wow, yeah, Pugna farming really fast. Of course, last hit that tower is definitely going to help. With the mechanism, will they look to be pushing more towers? I expect they will. They made a rotation towards mid to, in the end, decide not to dive the Panda. He's not the easiest hero to get. Shackle Shot latches on the omniknight, so creep here. Sankey looking for an opening. Heal comes out. Repel comes out. Not going to be enough. But right click with Windrunner. Just too powerful. Force Staff in again. I love the aggression here from TFG. Will he be able to lock down R5? R5 is out of mana. One power shot will take away most of his health. Even popping the Sandstorm. Now he's got nothing. Will there be any TPs? They could have killed him. I don't know if they had a chance to check his mana there. In the middle lane, the tower is getting pushed. Lane very close to Mechanism. This tower will give it to him. And with that Mechanism up, they can look to push even harder. The Dire are doing a decent job here of keeping ward coverage up. Once this tower goes down, I expect to see even more aggressive wards. You got to keep in mind this entire time, antimage is farming, and he's going for Battle Fury build. A very greedy build. It's not even going to be a fast Battle Fury. At best, he'll have it around the 15 to 18 minute mark, which is pretty slow, especially against the push lineup like this. And he's still going to be very squishy.
Yeah, but you're trading a Battle Fury for late game dominance, and you're trading that for your tier 1 towers and your teammates getting harassed out of lane. That's not a good trade in my opinion.
It's an expensive Battle Fury.
As we see, both tier 1 towers have already been taken down. You can see the amount of map control that the Radiant have. It's literally just past the tier 2s, and the Dire side are controlling 75% of the map right now.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take a look at the Fog of War here, just so you guys can see what Siege is talking about. Yeah, if you look at the Dire, the lanes are pushed pretty aggressively, well past the river for the most part, giving them a decent edge to map control. If you look at what the Radiant sees, it's really nothing. They have one ward here up on the hill, but aside from that, I mean, their vision is just not very strong. They're pushed very far back onto their side. Now, if they can farm safely in this area, that's going to favor them. But if MUFC is smart, I expect they'll continue to keep the aggression up. Lich picks up an urn. The ult will be cooling down in 30 seconds. They're farming the Radiant jungle. So doing what they can to extend that lead. This is what you like to see a team doing if they have the advantage, is to try and farm the enemy jungle, stay aggressively warded, and keep that advantage going. Abba has not had a chance to use his ult yet. I think that's very important to mention. Panda not using his ult 14 minutes in. And it's not really anything he's done wrong, it's just the lineup doesn't give him too many openings to drop it. Of course
It's just that he hasn't had a chance to initiate properly. Both the Dire side hasn't really done something like dive him.
Oh, Siege, hold that thought. Maybe we're going to see initiation here. Clap to initiate, Burrow Strike to follow, Panda ult gets dropped. Purification as well, 4-step out in the vent. She's alive for now, shockingly. Omniknight get ult gets dropped, but they weren't really taking any damage. They're fighting under the Pugna ward. Ling looking to be going down here. Burrow Strike, and again, lane drops. We talked about the squishies, we're seeing it now. Queen of Pain looking for an opening. Looks like Panda is forced to blink away. Queen of Pain picks up one kill. Nice job by Nick. Will he get any more? Shadow Strike onto Abba. The ult is down. The clap is cooling in 5 seconds. He's going to go down. Shackle Shot will kill him. So in the end, Panda ult gets dropped. Omniknight ult gets dropped, and it's a 2 for 2. Or I believe that was a 2. No, 2 for 1. Excuse me. So definitely not a trade they're going to be happy with.
Vengeful managed to survive.
No, during this. Go ahead.
Sorry? No, that's what I was talking about. They ran into him, he got a chance to initiate, but then there's just that mechanism, the heal. Wait, was the mech up yet?
Yeah, I believe it was.
I think it was popped, yeah. So yeah. Vengeful was down to something like 100 HP, immediately healed up from both the mech and the urn charges.
Yeah,
and there was also a great body block from Windrunner.
Yeah, also she got 4-staffed away, so... 4-staved away? Not sure what the correct pronunciation is there.
He got booted away.
Yeah, pushed back is the way to say it, I think. So with that team fight, let's take a look at the gold graph. I've not done that too much this game. Huge advantage in terms of gold. Now 3 towers, actually 4 towers, that accounts for part of it. That's 4,000, but it's a lot more than a 4,000 lead. It's actually a 9,000 and then some lead. It's almost a 10k difference. Big advantage coming out for the Dire, and this is what they needed to be doing. Oblivion Staff up on the Windrunner. Disruption to go on her. Will they be able to lock her down? Is the question though. No, she is going to 4-staff away. Demonic Purge even used. Omniknight heal going in, but R5 taking a lot of damage. Lich ult is dropped. Chase going back the other way. Lich ult is only going to bounce once, but in the end that will be a kill for nothing. They even used the Demonic Purge, which just isn't enough. The item advantage looking to be too big for MUFC. They can't take a fight, or MiTH Trust cannot take a fight without that Panda ult.
And I don't know why Omniknight didn't just repel Sand King, but I guess he just wanted to go in for the feed. As you saw, he ran up directly next to Sand King as Lich was traveling towards him. Hey guys, come bounce off me.
Yeah, well, fortunately for him, it only bounced once, so that could have been more than one kill. What does the Radiant look for at this point? I mean, they're about to lose a tier 2 mid. This is antimage is the Battle Fury, but he's going to need 5 more minutes to be a real contributor. If you look at him now, 800 HP. He did go back to maxing Blink, not the Mana Burn. A smart choice, I think, but the Spell Shield's still only level 1, and you're up against a lot of casting heroes, as well as a lot of disables. Burrow Strike in on the creeps. Just trying to delay this push as much as they can. Tower going to be taking a lot of damage. Lich, interestingly, has max sacrifice, no points in Frost Armor. I actually think that would be a really important skill to pick up here, as Queen of Pain still not content to back off. They should be back off soon. Lakel's doing what he can by split pushing. So he is forcing some TPs back, but I still think they can make a go at Roshan if they wanted to. If you take a look at the Fog War again, it is strongly in favor of the Dire.
Yeah, the Dire could definitely abuse that advantage and take a push right now. It's a rather interesting ward, but there's a rather interesting ward from the Radiant coming out just past the tier 2 on the side. Can you see that?
Yep, let me actually see. What does that see? A pretty decent ward. Yeah, it gives them some good vision. Of course, not as nice as the Hell ward, but hey, less likely to be dewarded. Now, normally you would not expect to see a team placing a ward like this early, but hey, they are down a bunch of towers. And
they also
really
had to place it there. They also had to place it there because both Lich and Vengeful Spirit were running around with sentry wards. So they figured that the traditional hill ward would be easily dewarded. The thing is that The Dire are just sitting back and farming, and there might be initiation bot. No other ward spots them out.
Well, you mentioned they're farming. The question is, what are they farming for? TFG very close to an Orchid, in fact, 500 gold away. That's going to be a great item against everyone on MiTH Trust. I actually think it's designed to lock down that Panda or the Omniknight and prevent them from ulting. Of course, it can be used on the antimage to prevent them from blinking away. It can be used on the Shadow Demon or the Sandcade, who are also casting Oriental Heroes. I love the Orchid choice. The other thing it gives them is some right-click power, and you couple that with the Vengeful Spirit. This Windrunner is going to be hitting harder than the Anti-Mage for now, and also being a lot harder to lock down. In terms of other item pickups, Nick almost has a Hex. That's going to be huge. A Scythe of Ice this early is really nice to be able to lock down heroes. So with those big disables up, then I think we're going to see a push for the base, or Roshan followed by that. I mean, those
It's going to be a rush attempt right now, I think. They just took out both tier 2 towers, all the tier 2 towers. Yeah, I think they're heading in there right now.
I love these aggressive item pickups. TFG on the top lane, he's got the 4-step, he'll be just fine, as he did not use it yet. Abba looks like he's saving for a blink, he is getting close. But even if you blink in, you can still get hexed immediately, you can get shackled immediately, you can get silenced immediately. And of course, Vengeful Spirit can stun you, so there's a lot of ways for them to really punish that blink flap. I don't think he's going to get his ult off in these fights. It's going to be tough, especially in an even fight. They're looking for TFG here, but he is able to pop the Windrunner and get back safely. So 5 heroes grouped up for MiTH Trust. This is not really what they want to be doing. Or, sorry, 4 heroes grouped up. OmniKnight on the bottom lane, trying to get what farm he can. Net very aggressive, very confident. Vengeful Spirit by herself normally will not be pushing this far, but with all the towers down and seeing 4 heroes grouped up top, she feels comfortable doing it. Well, Siege, you talked about, you know, that ward, and I like the fact that it's there now because there is a counter ward on the high ground. So, MiTH Trust definitely prepared.
I'm wondering why they don't take rush.
Yeah, you have a good team to do it. Your Windrunner, she does not have a point in focus fire. If she did, it would go a lot faster. But yeah, they could still definitely take it down. It would be slow, but
yeah, you don't even need that. You have Frost Armor plus Scream, plus Drain and all that.
4 heroes smoked up for MiTH Trust. Initiation onto Net. He drops the magic missile. Lich ult, will it be dropped? Nick is in the middle of it. He hexes Sand King, but immediate repel on the Sand King. He'll be just fine. A nice pick off there, but they use the Panda ult just for 1 kill. Not sure it's worth it. Cyclone onto the Pugna. Looks like they're going for a surround here. Will MiTH Trust commit to this? It's going to be very dangerous. TFG going back the other way, drops the Orchid. Shackle as well, following the 4-step. Great play by him. Sand King just melts. OmniKnight was not in position to save him there. Who has gone for an Ogre Club, just trying to tank him as best he can. Nick continuing the aggression. Looks like TNK will be the next to follow. They don't even need the magical damage at this point. Just the simple right click will be enough. Lino getting forced back to the base. He gets silenced as well, looking for Shackle. Hex comes off, pulled out again. Oh, Lino eating a power shot. Some more right click. Sonic Wave from Nick. Big plays from Nick right before the heal or the repel could be cast. As motorcycles drive down the street in celebration in the background on Siege's end of the cast. Big chase there going the other way for MUFC. I mean, even with the Panda ult, MUFC is too mobile, and then they turn it around real fast with those disables and all that chasing power.
That was a profitable team fight, but the Radiant heroes respawn really fast. They drop the Panda ult, but they still have Sand King and OmniKnight. I think they'll be able to hold this Rex, but
oh, speaking of that Panda, he gets picked off by a hasted Queen of Pain as well as the Pugna. The siege continues to commence on the bottom lane. The Frost Armor will be very nice here. Also just to help tank up those tower shots. Well, you said OmniKnight can get, or Sand King can get his ult off. Even if he does, I mean, look how mobile the Dire lineup is. They can blink out, they can swap out. Burrow Strike on 2. Is there going to be a heal? Is there going to be a repel? No! Magic Missile! Where is the repel? Oh, he got silenced. That's why he didn't drop it. Poor Lino.
He wasn't silenced.
Well, he had a second there. Oh, power shot cleaned him up. TFG, big kills, and of course Antimage. All he can do is push down the top lane. He's got Ultimate Orb. Still working on that Yasha. This is where Antimage struggles. He just takes a long time to get going. I love MUFC's play this game, so aggressive early on, and that's exactly what they needed to do. It was a little bit iffy at first. You know, Vengeful Spirit gave up that first blood, got picked off a few times, but in the mid game, the execution is very solid. I'm talking like the game's over. Now, it's not over, but MUFC is looking well on their way to a victory. It is going to be an uphill climb, to say the least, for MiTH Trust. Over 20,000 gold lead. If we take a look at the XP graph, Now, I know this is not as meaningful, but over 10,000, that's pretty big. Bunch of TPs back onto the anti-mage, who gets hexed as well as shackled. He's gonna go down. So,
It's
that's gonna
all
slow down
about
his farm. Dead for a
discipline,
full minute.
antimage.
At this point, well, as a Radiant side, you need to start hoping.
Pray to your gods, because you're gonna need it. Of course, we talked about the Hex, we talked about the Orchid, and the Force Staff. Big item pickups all around. Even the supports are getting fat. Lich has a drum. I bet he has gold in the bag too. Yep, 500. Maybe he'll go for a pipe to follow. Oh, swap in on the Panda. Blink out. Some big jukes there. Kind of a, you know, I don't know, Barry Sanders style plays. At the end, he will escape. Nick up towards the top lane. He's getting close to that level 3 ult, and man, that is going to hurt so badly in the next team fight. If you take a look at the Radiant, they're all very squishy. Level 8 Shadow Demon with no items. I mean, the HP pool, I don't even want to see it. Sand King, no HP to speak of. These heroes are food for the magical damage, and you can't repel them all.
Yep, average HP is about 900 for the Radiant. And I think they're finally going to take Rush and go mid, end it.
Orchid as well as that Focus Fire going onto Roshan, and this will drop very quickly. I suppose the question is, who do you give it to? I'm guessing the Windrunner, but you could certainly make an argument for the Queen of Pain as well. Speaking of that Windrunner, 2100 gold in the bank, 2500 gold in the bank, as well as an ultimate orb. Oh my god, filthy rich is TFG. Let's take a look at the gold per minute on him. Yeah, 439 on the Pugna, 452 on the Queen of Pain, 500 on the Windrunner, and Anti-Mage only 372. Just not enough farm to go around for MiTH Trust. Blink in, Hex Initiation on Lino. He gets silence as well as disabled down. Nice defensive disruption. Will it be enough is the question. Blink in, clap, Panda ult in the middle for a great blink. But MUFC should be able to run away. Boulder toss on the Sharky. Burrow Strike on 2. A nice Burrow Strike as well. But you can see just how much damage R5 is taking. Cyclone in the air, Vengeful Spirit. She'll be okay. You can't bring anyone down, even with the Panda ult. A nice Burrow Strike. They needed to go for an epicenter there. Without comboing those two ults, there's just no way they're going to win the fight. Shadow Strike on Abba. He's being chased by Nick. Will Nick drop the Sonic Wave? That's the question. Looks like he does. Clap from the Panda, slowing the attack speed as well. Abba, I think he's going to go down. Indeed, he is. Anti-Mage being driven back to the fountain in the midst of all this. Tower going to be sieged up now. Focus Fire should be coming off cooldown. Indeed, it is up. Windrunner very close to that Hex. She's popping Windrunner, tagging up the tower for now. Panda, no buyback on him. Or actually, he's got the buyback, but is there a point? There's no ult. He does buyback. Will it be enough, though? Might force a retreat. Anti-Mage blinks in the middle 3 with Repel on. Actually, that's going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. The ult goes down on the Pugna. Lane goes down. Anti-Mage blinks back out. Lich ult was bouncing around like crazy. Picked up 2 kills on the support. Shackle shot, power shot, silence. Down goes the omniknight. And this is going to mean a second set of rags.
Yeah, there's no way you can come back from that amount of advantage. Sorry, that lead. They've got just too many disables, and Anti-Mage has no BKB. You can't keep a repel on both him and the Sand King for the ult. Panda did his best, but he just was never really. He just could never get off enough ganks or kills.
Well, you know, Sand King rotated mid one time, but it did not result in a kill. Yeah, the Queen of Pain took some damage. She did not die. Windrunner got free farm in that bottom lane. When you saw MiTH Trust, it was like they had too many lanes that needed help. Between the Anti-Mage up top, the Omniknight bottom, the Panda mid, 3 melee heroes who are just not strong in the laning phase at all. I mean, they're okay in the Panda and the Omniknight, but they're not going to dominate their lanes, and there just wasn't enough support to go around. This was a greedy lineup. MUFC punished it. You got to give them a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, MUFC played well. They took advantage of their early game dominance, of their early game lead from both those kills, but turned it into a mid game dominance from the amount of disables they managed to accumulate. And will this be the final push stop?
We will have to see. Another Hex was picked up on the Windrunner.
Yep. I don't quite think they have enough for everyone. Maybe Lich or Pugna should get one next.
Well, there's a Blink Dagger up on the Lich, so Lich is going big or going home. He's also got a Medallion. Tower will be sieged up here. I actually love the Medallion choice because at this point, you know, who cares if Omniknight pops Repel? You can just right-click people down with double Hex as well as the Orchid and Force Staff on the Windrunner. She hits harder than the Anti-Mage, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 160 plus 89 versus 128 plus 65. She's also much harder to bring down. Abba trying to do some
Antimage.
backstabbing. He's gonna get spotted here by Nick. Immediate Hex. Shackle shot to follow. Shackle shot not gonna latch. I don't think it matters. Down he goes. Is there buyback on the brewmaster? There is not. That's gonna be huge. Repel on the anti-mage. Another Hex going out. R5 getting picked up. What are you doing with your MiTH Trust? I mean, sure, you want to try and get something going, but you can't win a team fight outside of your base, my friends. They are going to be forced back. So, MiTH Trust, they wanted to try and catch some heroes out. Unfortunately, they were the ones who got caught. Disruption going out and the Queen of Pain immediately after the Blinket. Looks like TNK will be going down. I hear Antimage is right-clicking. That was just creeps. He gets repelled again, but he's going to just run away off of that. Third set of Rex about to drop. It's not looking good for MiTH Trust, and by that I mean the game is pretty much over. 3 sets of racks down. There is really no coming back from this. The gold grab, such a huge lead in favor of MUFC. It was close for that first, 5 minutes, and then from there it's just been all MUFC all day.
And that's the GG call.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Blinking clap from the Panda ult to follow. Single hero ult being dropped there. Lakel's will pop that. Oh, just goes down too fast. The TFG's damage. In spite of Mansane out of the silence, just not enough. Boulder toss onto lane. Cyclone as well. Burrow Strike finally first epicenter of the game. Demonic Purge going out on that windrunner. It's just not enough damage. She blinks out. Or rather, she's got the Aegis and she'll come right back to life, so it really doesn't matter too much. Linu gonna be able to run away from the looks of it. Yep. He'll go down in the fountain, so not able to run away. Blink getting clapped from Abba. Nick dropping low to the fountain. Drone should be dropping momentarily here. Another Hex going onto Abba. Just some more fountain farms before the game ends. Big Sonic Wave coming out. The fountain camping will end soon because MiTH Trust are all about to be dead. At which point there will be nothing for MUFC to do but push this. But as I say that, Focus Fire gets dropped off. Well, Siege, it was certainly a one-sided affair.
Yeah, kind of a misplay, picking such a greedy lineup and then laning it like you did. I don't think they were expecting Pugna to go up against anti-mage top.
Well, Artstyle has said there's no such thing as outpicked in the past. Perhaps this game is proving him wrong. I mean, you can't say MiTH Trust played it perfectly, but they played it reasonably well considering. There's just too many areas that needed help. Anyway, Siege, thanks for doing me. That's going to do it for this broadcast. We may have more ProDota 2 action coming your way later today. I will keep the stream up for a little bit and let you guys know. But for now, Siege, thank you very much for joining me. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure again. Thanks for inviting me. I hope you guys enjoyed the cast, and see you next time.